Hey Bren, where's the location of this treasure you bought off a sketchy trader? Well, that's not good. What happened, Brett? Okay. So, as you can read in this video's title, we have 20 unique mods to add to your new weird, wacky, questionable ethics playthrough. And we would want you, the viewer, to know about this new mods our great developer's been cooking in their mom's basement. So without any delays, press that like button, subscribe to our channel to keep our lights on, and... Bren, did you pay the electric bill this month? Because the powers and the anomaly cages need... Oh no. Bren, get the guards. Let's start off with the first mod on the list. Faction Airspace Air Territories. This mod adds enforceable airspace like the real world crossing on someone's airspace have grave consequences. I know adding this mod on your new playthrough may or may not make airship flying inside an enemy's territory a risk, even landing directly or near the enemy's base, obsolete or highly dangerous, so that vehicle mod with tanks might be the best approach when using this mod. And yes, this is Save Our Ship 2 compatible, so go nuts when raiding a faction's base you hate. Though it only affects Grav ships, not the modded Save Our Ship, so you can definitely go nuts with raiding bases with a ship. The next mod on the list will be a jelly and peanut butter-like pair with Factions Airspace Air Territories, a mod that challenges the Save Our Ship mod for the spot of space building on the rim. And that's Gravtech. Oh god, so much destruction. Some of you, the viewers, already know we have a video explaining Gravtech, but it's only scraping the surface of the mod itself. This mod adds a lot of new buildings, workbenches, new weapons, armor, shields. It's an addition to the vanilla Gravship expanded mod, so you will need the vanilla expanded framework to properly use this one. First, let's talk about the workshops, which had a compact version while taking up only a fraction of the space and remains its functionality with its vanilla counterpart. It's not just weapons. It adds but a plethora of propulsion building fuel systems, and the engines of it add another type of engine. So you can build bigger Grav ships to the size of a map itself, but it's highly impractical. It also had a version of infinite chem fuel reactor. Talking about reactors, the ship is useless without one. In the DLC Grav ships, you only have the Grav generator, which only produces a small amount of power, but the mod author thought of that and added dozens of power generators. But what this, we have the Grav engine. With power connectors, it generates power. Yes, the Grav engines also generate power. We have 3 Grav engines that generate power, but weirdly the medium-sized one generates less but had more space for Grav structures. Now, let's move on to the exciting part of this mod, weapons. We'll talk about the big one later. Let's start with the melee ones. This mod adds a broken melee weapon, the Grav hammer, which can deal a lot of DPS compared to the Zeus hammer, and for those who don't like getting up close to it, had Gravtech range weapons. Now, turrets, this is why you watch this part of the video. It has dozens of turrets added in the mod, from missiles to giant singularity gun that wipes out half the map. Unlike Save Our Ship, it has native support for orbital bombardment. Now, go nuts on the rim, being democracy to those uneducated communist scum for Super Earth, drop an orbital barrage on top of the insectoids, and even recreate the black hole event in the middle of the mech factory. One of our viewers suggested this mod, Smart Priorities. This is a unique and simple quality of life mod. Imagine this a new playthrough. You waste a minimum of 15 minutes setting up the pawn's work preferences. 15 minutes is a long time, even 5 minutes is a long time. Pretty long when you're just setting up your new base. This mod can ease the burden on yourself by just a click of a button. It automatically sets up the work of the pawns. Also, don't forget to press that like and subscribe button to support our channel. I know, we gotta say it. It works better than not saying it. Anywho, on to the next mod on the list. Bren, what's the next one? Only pawns, huh? That sounded like OnlyFans. Phew, almost died on that drop raid. Intel shows that every time I mention a sus site, we get a drop pod raid. Alright, Only Pawns, a mod that adds, you guessed it, pole dancing, and not to get demonetized by YouTube, no, dancing and silver donation to the dancer. As of now, it only adds new recreation features and no NSFW, so if you want to find a mod to goon, just go to the dark side of the Rimworld mod. I want this video to be 80% family friendly and 100% questionable human ethics. Moving on to another mod. Let's just forget about that mod if you're not into that category and move on to another quality of life mod, Seasonal Adaptive Apparel. This mod helps you with apparel for different or drastic changes in the temperature and situation of the map you're currently on. It acts the same as smart priorities by reducing the time and strain you encounter in each playthrough. Imagine this. You had a nice base in a tundra map. You have crops and winter is a few more months, so you wear just button shirts and no heaters, but bam, a cold snap. Well, this mod helps you. Bren, this is an old script. Can you show them the screenshot? Okay, thank you, Bren. This mod helps you by these three main features: predictive logic, smart scan, hysteresis buffer. I don't know what hysteresis is. Interesting. To make this work, it's pretty simple as shown in the clip. Oh, you can't see it. Let me just move aside and just show you the whole clip. Oh, we have another quality of life mod. It's Tidy Your Base. It's more like Pick Up and Haul, but it's different in its way to keep it oversimplified. This is a mod that adds a dedicated button on Orders tab on the Architect menu. Now look at the 3 footage with 1 speed, but we fast forward it for you low attention span viewers. Step right up. Step right up. Place your bets on which of these film will be the fastest. On the right, we have the contender for the best newest hauling mod. On the left side, we have the oldest and most used hauling mod. And on the middle, now place your bets and the competition will start now. And we have a winner. It's the newest mod in the town, the Tidy Your Base mod. Sorry about that, folks. One of the script writers went nuts. I'm not talking bad to you. Though it acts like Pick Up and Haul most of the time and have a few things that make it unique, you can manually force multiple pawns to haul all the random stuff that is laying around, i.e. after a raid, so no more berserk pawns because the base is full of random weapons and corpses. Hot take. Do you guys remember Z levels? I'm getting old by just thinking of that mod. It's a good and unique mod, but it had a lot of bugs and poor performance. So if you're a heavy modder, like one of our employees with an old rig, you will be frustrated. And also the devs gave up on the project. Well, there's a new mod that satiates your modding desires for a second floor or multi-rooms. It's a new mod that reduces the processing consumption in RAM in this economy. You will definitely need to reduce RAM usage since the mod is so old that our footage gatherer cannot record the scene. So here's the honest depiction of what will happen instead. This mod adds a lot of buildings to access the upper and lower levels of the map, and if you guys did not see, yes, it can support Grav ships, so this is a great add-on to Gravtech. Does anyone here have a problem on pawns being bland just using icons and don't talk? Yeah, you can see what the pawns are talking about in social, but those are simple conversations. Well, this mod is just for you. Rimtalk and Echo Colony, though Rimtalk has been almost 1 year old by August and a year and a half for Echo Colony, I still want to talk about it because it adds immersion to the game by having the pawns talk, well, not talking like voice but in text with their own personalities. But how did the mod author make such a mod that's so unique, such a small amount of space it takes? Another thing you can do in the mod is that you can talk to your colonists, manipulate them, or even persuade them to do your bidding. Well, it uses the AI for that, like ChatGPT or Gemini for this task. Yeah, it uses Google API specifically if you want it to. That's how we did it for this video. I know that most of you guys hate AI, especially what happened on our video last month, but hear me out. Before you bomb this video to the ground, and also you can add this to your current playthrough, no more pesky restart every time, a new interesting mod appears in the workshop. Next up is an underrated mod, Inside Zone, a simple quality of life mod that automatically makes an area on an enclosed space. While roof zones, any area that had roofs underneath it, both are pretty useful since most of us, if not at least one of the writers, are too lazy to make a zone of a base or a compound. It's pretty devastating when you think you had a zone and assigned that zone to your pawns when there's a horde of man-hunting bears, or you forgot that toxic fallout exists and kept your pawns unrestricted, and the rest is history. I can't stress this enough. When a mod is too good and too popular, it remains in the spot of the top of the mods of the month. Is a mod that adds Viltrumite Xenos. How shocking, isn't it? Jokes aside, as the mod description, it adds xenotypes. A lot of them, and I do mean a lot. One of my writers died reading all the description. It's not just the xenotypes it adds, but new enemies for you to shoot at before they kill you. I mean, this is not like the Shattered Empire you're fighting, but more closer to the brutality of the Void. Oh god, the Void. Bren, why did you invite him inside? Joking aside, some of the fighters' pawns added here are either overpowered and hard to hit, or just a plain pawn that's been enslaved to work in the ranks of the Empire. Before we move on to another mod, I'd like to give you some add-on. If you're planning on adding Viltrumites on your next playthrough, Viltrumite xenotypes and Viltrumites in Rimworld, they just add more genes for your twisted abomination overpowered of a pawn. And also, the Viltrumite xenotype adds 2 abilities to fight within your map and world map. Another mod that ranks up to our expectations of unique mods. Isekai RPG Leveling. You love Isekai anime, I love Isekai anime, especially Sword Art Online. Well, this mod added a new system literally. It adds a ranking weapon, knowledge, and even more. To access the system, click upon, look for the status tab, and the system appears, and the system is very detailed and simple. Now back to the good stuff. As you can already know, or you've seen it yourself, you can level up your pawn that improves its crafting, building, fighting in both melee and ranged, and you can make the most overpowered pawns. No more of that double passion level 20 skilled pawn in all professions, and add more buffs in every category. Do you think I'm lying? That this drastically improves most if not some skills, and numbers below not convince you yet? Well, I can just show you instead. Here's Jimmy. And here's him after maxing out the strength, and here's him punching a wall. Well, it's not that this mod added their...
Ooh, you're so good, you got Mario confused.
What the heck is that? Oh, not convinced on adding this mod to your next playthrough? Well, it also adds quests with ungodly amounts of rewards. You know the saying, no pain, no gain, because this also adds a boss fight with an unimaginable amount of goodies. That's spoilers. Trying out the mod, please. We are begging you, if you haven't tried it. It's very, very good. What? Is Isekai mods not enough for you? Well, here is an extension of the mod, the guild mod. It adds guilds and more quests to the game. More goodies, more loot, and even rebuild the quest board, and more quests, and a new faction named guild. Without spoiling what the mod adds, I'll show you one of the quests. After having a good relationship with the guild, it needs to be plus 25 in the positive, you will be able to unlock and accept quests for recruitments, duels, A rank and B rank pawns that will spawn and request a duel to fight you, and you can knock him out and you will get a rank B pawn. No consequences, kill him, well, that's a different story. This is very much compatible with medieval playthroughs to the point that the guild prefers plate armor rather than flak armor. So go check it out. Install it. After you finish this video, of course. Do you hate the fact that when you sell off a bunch of drugs and get a ton of silver, raiders just show up and know exactly where all your stuff is hidden? Well, look no more. When you can have There Is Nothing Here mod. Hide your precious items in a safe, where even Randy doesn't know that you had $1 million silver in the hiding. Even the IRS doesn't know where it is. Speaking of the IRS... we had a unique mod, Civilized Nations, a mod that adds an autonomous settlement under your flag, and you can even conquer an enemy's base and convert it to yours, and after some micromanagement, you give it to an autonomous government that automatically controls that settlement. It is even compatible with vanilla faction expanded, faction territories, and world dominion. I hope you guys realize now that all the mods we show you is that they all really fit together. It's a good combo, all of them. Have you been itching to play a grand strategy game like Stellaris? Well, in this case, now you can, with the Empire Refactored. Well, the mod is more like a micromanagement kind of mod, like Hearts of Iron 4, not more on graphics, but more on numbers and math. I'm not here to trash the mod, it's a great mod, one of a kind in fact, but I had a learning curve, a hill with a steep incline, and a rock on top of you. You have to micromanage a lot more, especially when one of your settlements gets raided, and you have to make sure you have enough units to suffice to stand by. No, you can't use your pawns to save your settlement. You have to hire them in the military section too, and they're very expensive and might bankrupt you to the point you'll be eating raw potatoes for a week. We have to end it right here because we are working on a dedicated mod review coming soon, because this is a big mod with a lot of stuff needed to cover. Another problem with a raid is that when there's a family member that is related to one of your pawns and you killed them, your pawn will be having a great debuff that is temporary, of course, but it's enough that is pretty much annoying by their constant mental breaks. Even worse if they're a pyromaniac. Now imagine you have 5 of them. If that bothers you enough that you have to load saves 5 times, here's the mod for the Dynamic Family Interactions mod. Well, the feature it adds are simple and unique. You can convince the family of the colonists, especially in a raid, to either leave the raid or join your faction instead of fighting. Another mod that would take a very long time to talk about, but I'll just cover the important features about this mod for this video. The mod in question, RimPsyche Personality Core. Now for those who hate AI and don't like the Rimtalk and Echo Colony, this is a mod for you, though it is also supported the 2 mods. Enough talk with AI and focus on the mod first. This mod adds 3 content features for you to explore and enjoy. The personality, conversation, and influence mechanics that this mod overhauls. First, let's talk about personality. Since this mod just adds content from the vanilla personality traits, it's pretty simple. If your pawn is a brawler, it will have a deeper brawler trait by the traits. Secondly, conversation. When a conversation starts, the initiator chooses a topic based on their interest. Each pawn forms an opinion based on their personality. Similar personalities tend to have similar opinions, while contrasting ones may clash. Pawns are more affected by topics that interest them. Shared views lead to positive outcomes, while opposing views create tension. Personality further adjusts this. Open-minded pawns tolerate differences. Inquisitive pawns are intrigued by unfamiliar topics, etc. For example, we are so casual that we don't even exchange names, just aggressive eye contact at the grocery store. Lastly is influence. Now imagine it like a prisoner getting converted. There's a lot of persuasion and influence to convert a pawn to your preferred religion. That's how this mod acts. Now before we go to another mod, I'd like for you to watch this advertisement. This is not a sponsored section, so don't skip this. Anywho, I'll play the footage. Howdy. Tired of pawns getting infected, especially your only doctor in the colony is also infected? Well, I have a solution for you. Tend again. If you did not pay attention to the footage, I want you to go back and watch it again because our artist made it with love. I'll just assume that you watched it. This mod adds a simple feature of a 0 medical skill doctor to redo the quality of the application of medicine, and no, it won't work on bionic arm replacement. Do you think when a pawn is crafting, cleaning, or cooking, it's bland, just the body moving? I mean, where's the tools? Where's the broom? Where's the pan for cooking? Well, this mod adds that with custom sprites and visual animations for each action. Very nice. Same as the previous mod, this is a visual mod that gives visual enhancements to your playthrough. Physics hair, the mod adds physics mesh on the hair so it somewhat realistically sways as the pawn moves. Although it's not fully 20 mods, some of the mods need each other to show their full potential, and it's much better to try other mods once in a while. While vanilla is fine, but when you try the modded Rimworld, you won't be able to go back, of course. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and remember, like and subscribe if you want to support this channel. I'd like to thank all the Patreons that support us and make videos like this possible. I'll see you guys in the next one.